Hello, beautiful souls. How are you, everyone? I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for joining us on this powerful day of alignment. Alignment with the Sirius star, alignment with the timelines of the prophecies. For those of you that have been following along, or if you'd like to catch up on it, you can find my Path of the Prophecies classes on the Dreamporting app, and that gives you the timeline of events that I have studied my entire life since my father came home when I was about 6 years old. One day, and he said, "Hey kids, come check this out." And he rolled out this big, beautiful map on the dining room table. And he said, "I might not be here for it, but you sure will." And I was like, "Oh no, what's he talking about?" And he rolls out Edgar Casey's map of the new Earth. And that is when my studies of the prophecies and ancient civilizations and spiritual text of all kinds, of all times, before any religions were even formed, we had these different spiritual beliefs and contexts that were the foundations of societies and civilizations. So I became extremely interested in understanding and studying that which I was seeing in my meditations. I was raised with Kriya Yoga. We're going to go through a little bit of the Kriya Yoga teachings and prophecy, and that's part of the movement meditation and the breath work that we're going to be doing today. And so, meditating my whole life, I thought everyone always meditated. I thought everyone was connected to their soul and the divine, and that beings were, angels and guides were talking to everybody all the time. And I found out very quickly that that wasn't quite the case. So, I started studying and looking into a very, very deep fascination that I've always had with Egypt and Atlantis and Lemuria. And then come to find out, while I'm in Egypt in 2020 for about 2 months, my brother went and had or his, but our genealogy done. And he found out that we're 20% Egyptian. And I was like, well, of course, it makes sense. And through the path of my mother's Hungarian family, they're actually Egyptian. And that was a big revelation to happen for our family. And while I was in Egypt, was even more profound. So we're going to get into a little bit of that. If everyone's ready to go here. Amazing 62 people today. All right, my loves, let's take a moment and we're going to do a centering visualization exercise that connects us to the infinite fields of light and creation. As science is now catching up with spirituality, it's known as plasma. The biophotons of plasma in our bodies, Dr. Natalie can verify this, and the energetic light of the universe, of the sun itself, of lightning, even in little microbes, they're sending out little signals of light. And so let's take a moment here for those of you who want to participate fully. This is the heart mudra. You will see many photos, typically of Yeshua and Mary doing this. They have some kind of hand gesture where they have their left hand over their heart center, and your right hand is the masculine energy that's connecting us to the center of all divine, all creation, and in this case, and today specifically, the Sirius central sun. And our left hand is our feminine side of our body and connecting to the center of our body. So we're going to start with, make sure we're recording. Yes, check. That's only happened once, I promise, where I didn't record. Okay, let's take a collective intentional breath just to clear our field, bring in our centeredness to the collective consciousness of all of us here gathered today for illuminating our inner light and sharing it and shining it throughout our life, our family, our world. And take a deep inhalation, visualizing a beautiful beam of light coming in and down through your crown, inhaling it down your spine and filling your body with light. This is called a reverse Kriya. Inhale as full of light as your body as you can, and now exhale it out through the center of the earth. See this beam of light going all the way through the planet, crystalline core of Gaia, and out the other side of the oceans. And inhale now for through the sun, through this beautiful central sun of our galaxy, the center of our universe, rather. Well, wait a second. There's our solar system, then the galaxy, then the universe, all of them. Inhale all the way through the sun, through Sirius, and exhale out through all creation in the galaxy, all lifetimes, all dimensions, all realities, and inhaling back through the center of you. Take another breath, visualizing that beam of light circulating through the center of you, through the center of the earth, through the center of the sun, through the center of the universe, and inhaling back through the center of you. In the name, through the power, and by the word of all heavenly divine consciousness, Heavenly Mother, Father, Creator, beloved archangels, ascended masters, and benevolent light beings of all time, space, and dimensions in the realities of love, we give thanks for this white wall of living flame that surrounds us and loves us, guides us and heals us now and always in all ways, as we give thanks for this portal through us and as us of divine knowing, divine remembrance, divine love, divine guidance, divine truth, and divine abundance through and as the greatness of ourselves for the highest good of all, as we give thanks for all relations, all directions, all ancestors, and all highest forms of ourself to be present here and now. And so it is. And place both hands on your body, giving gratitude to yourself, to having this divine vessel of love that your soul lives in, expressing this lifetime. And you can relax your hands. There we go. I just saw a little glimmer of sparkles all around. So keeping us in this beautiful love bubble, the happy bubble, I like to call it, is our toroidal field. We call it the aura, we call it many things, but this is scientifically known as our toroidal field. Also full of plasma and plasma light. That is how we are connected to everything in creation. And there's a lot of studies now coming out about the plasmoids and the bioplasma and everything that is reconnecting us to the knowing that the Templars and that Solomon and many other ancient teachers taught as gnosis, which is the knowing of self, the direct connection with the divine as the divine spark within us. And so that is a big foundation of my teachings and studies as well. And this is the time where Solomon said, when the darkness falls, the white knights will rise and shall thrive forevermore. And what he meant by the white knights were those who carry the light. And even the word Magdalene or Magdaluna, as I was also taught in Italy when I was there, well, been there many times, but specifically that it translates to the Maj, which is the Magi, those of magic, the alchemists, de of Luna, which is light. So carrier of light or Magi of light is what the Magdalena and Magdalene means. So these ancient high priestess practices and high priest alchemic rituals is a big part of what I love to share and empower all of you with. And so we're going to start today with a little bit of class. For those of you who have been to my class before, you know I love my slides. It just helps us to integrate everything that we're talking about here. So I've just made a few simple ones for you all. Mackenzie, I see you dancing back there, honey. Thank you. Okay, move my little Zoom thing. So Swami Sri Yukteswar is the guru of Paramahansa Yogananda, who was then taught by well, there's Lahiri Mahashaya was the direct lineage order by timeline, and then Swami Sri Yukteswar. And Swami Sri Yukteswar studied directly with Mahavatar Babaji. And in what they call the missing years of Jesus, this is when his grandmother, that was named after, Anna, took him to the Himalayas to study yoga and specifically teach and, I mean, learn from Babaji. And that's where there's now many books talking about the yoga of Jesus and the practices that, again, refer to the direct communion and knowing of thyself with the divine. And the gnosis that is also now that the Knights Templar are back and oh, they never went away, but they were definitely strategically preparing for this time. And the Knights Templar, as you will see in the Path of the Prophecies classes, are now speaking out and talking about the importance of this prophetic decade that we are in, known as the most prophesized decade of all civilizations, of all timelines, and you chose to be here for it all. So, the most important bit of guidance that I can ever give and share with anyone is always that of intuition. And how do we get to a place of knowing and trusting and living from that place of gnosis as intuition is through repetitive the practice. It is getting the neuroplasticity of the brain to be aligned with that which you trust within yourself rather than outsourcing your trust. So we're going to go through a intuition empowerment exercise as well in our meditation. And what I suggest for everyone to do, what I do myself, is write it on the love note that we're going to write to our water. We're going to write 2 love notes today. One is to the consciousness of water, and the other is to the crystalline consciousness of your crystal, and those will integrate in the ceremony portion after. So the cycle that we are in, as Yukteswar talks about in the book called The Holy Science, and I wrote that in here so that you can go and study it and buy the book if you'd like to. And many people are saying, oh, we're out of the Kali Yuga. Not just yet, darlings. We still have another couple thousand years. However, we are now ascending out of it into what is the Dwapara Yuga. So the Dwapara Yuga is known as the age of energy. This is exactly what we're seeing right now in the world as well. We're seeing that now there's energy medicine, as Donna Eden talked about for many, many years, and her books of energy medicine are very powerful. I've been through her courses as well. And that energy in medicine, we're seeing as sound healing, as light healing, as all of these technologies, rather than cutting into our body, are now being infused with light and sound and energy. This is part of the plasma conversation. And so now that we are really realizing the quantum field, right, and quantum entanglement, then that is literally the zone of natural science and natural law that is finally coming back into unification. We've had a major split in the last few hundred years of mechanical science and natural science. And that which is weaving it back together is what the spiritual leaders and teachers of all time have been saying is the science of energy. And even as we know, many famous inventors who just happen to be incredibly powerful meditators, and the men, which I call mantuition, all had claircognizance. And so they had this deep knowing of knowing, again, gnosis, that they were receiving these incredible inventions, such as Tesla and Einstein and Edison and those guys. And so what Yukteswar refers to this as is the inescapability of spiritual law, which is great. Okay, so Wep Ronet is the real name to Lion's Gate, because Wep Ronet was known to the Egyptians as the New Year, the coming of the Nile flooding, as they watched the central sun Sirius come directly over the Cairo area, which is where this picture was taken. This is me with the Sphinx in 2020. And there was one of the reasons I was there and studying a lot about the Sphinx and asking the different historians is because in my meditations, I've always seen two Sphinx that are facing each other. And it was right before my trip to Egypt that I met a gentleman in the Topanga Mountain Canyon that on retreat there. They're hosting a retreat that he gave to me a book called Transylvania Sunrise. If you guys want to write that down and check it out, there's a book series now of Transylvania Sunrise and Transylvania Moonrise. And there is where the other Sphinx is in Transylvania, Romania. And the studies that have been done around this other Sphinx that's on the other side of the Mediterranean Sea when the continents moved is directly facing this other Sphinx in Egypt. It's been defamed quite a bit from history and other tribes wanting to hide it, yet it is still there. And there's been many geologists and physicists and spiritual people that have gone there and then collectively have created this portal map to the inner earth. Argantha, they call it. So this is part of the journey and the guided meditation that I'll be taking you through today because of the duality coming into unification. And that's another major thing that we are seeing in the world is the last kicking and screaming of the polarized belief systems of them versus you or whatever. It's not either or anymore. It's coming back to yes, and we are one. And that is something that the oneness consciousness and the oneness meditations and the unification of all things, this is what they all relate to, is that the polarity that we've been basically forced and imposed of operating from is now going away. People are no longer paying attention to the screaming, news as much. And that's another thing that I suggest for everyone is to be aware of where your attention goes. What are you watching? What information are you feeding into your limbic brain? Because this is the number one thing that creates doubt of your intuition and can block you from following your divine purpose and direction is that of your limbic brain, because intuition comes in 40,000 times faster than an actual thought. And that's been proven by heart math and a few others. And so the next thing that comes in about 5,000 times faster than an actual thought is the limbic brain synapse of, but what if kind of a thing. That polarity, that duality is what's finally calming down when we really focus on trusting your intuition and building it as a muscle more and more. And that's why also in this timeline, as the Buddhists also have been teaching that full transparency is what is being revealed. Now, the astrology of that is coming up on the next page. There we go. Is the potency that we are in with the double eclipse season happening right now, as well as Taurus moving into Chiron for the first time in 50 years. So many of us may have not even been around. I was born in 1976. I just turned 50 last month. And so the last time that we had this astrological alignment was exactly 50 years ago. And we won't have it again for another 50 years. Good thing regenerative medicine and energy medicine is here if you want to live long enough to see another cycle of it. So we'll get into that in just a moment. So when we have these two eclipses, especially with the dynamic configuration and astrological houses that they are in, it is perfectly poised for what, again, in newer age, science and spirituality call having a quantum leap. And when we do the math, the sacred geometry of the universal alignment, it literally looks like a gateway, like a portal right through the center of the galaxy and coming straight towards our universe and pointed at us to then really leap into the chosen existence rather than the imposed one that we know we came here to create together. And so this is meant to be an individual proclamation, an individual activation, as well as a conscious collective vision. And so that's what we're going to be writing our love notes about. So this is the karmic course corrector. And this is also something that I've been sharing and talking about. I started teaching the Path of the Prophecies class in 2015 when I got the divine directive to start preparing people for the 2020 decade. And this is the time where you will either reveal thyself or you will be exposed. And that is the layer of transparency that we're coming to. If you want to be psychic, well, then you better get ready for receiving the amount of information that comes through and comes to you when the transparency veil has lifted and we are able to see and feel and express everything in another's thoughts. Now, we'll get into that a little bit more in the intuition class, but for now, the August 12th solar eclipse is in Leo, as we are in right now with the Lion's Gate as well. And again, the August 8th didn't exist on the Egyptian calendar, my loves. It just happens to be in our numerics and our numerology of this calendar that it matches up on this year specifically. It's a 888 year. So we'll get into that math too. So the solar eclipse represents the new beginnings. Now we have a new moon eclipse as well. So we have new beginning of the solar eclipse, new beginning of the lunar eclipse. The core themes focus on courage. Of course, these are related to some of the Leo energies. Personal visibility. Again, reveal thyself. Very, very important. That way you're the one telling your story rather than on the other side of the exposed part is someone else representing your story in their perspective and through their lens. So creative identity. Anything that you are bringing to the world, this is what I teach in the Law of Love class as well, is that the energy of love itself is a wave and it goes up and down. It doesn't change form into something else. It's not love versus whatever. It is love as the desire to share your love, the desire to create, the desire to be of purpose in the world is what spirals you up into the higher frequencies and higher hertz levels of your expression of love. And so something that I studied with Heart Math Institute, and we did all these different tests to show that those who give their love and create things to give to others with love generate a higher hertz level of positive expression through their body first than the person actually receiving the love thing that they're getting. Now, the opposite of that, the downward of the wave ondulation is the desire to be loved, the desire to want love from a certain person at a certain time in a specific way. And the more that you focus on wanting it so bad, and this is what Abraham Hicks talks about as well, you got to flip the switch, is that the lower expressions of those vibrations is what is the spiral down effect. And so flipping the switch in your internal energy body is what we are doing. And doing it during this most powerful, potent time, again, is the quantum leap moment. It is the karmic course correction. And so the focus that we are going to have in writing your words, we're not going to talk about releasing that which doesn't serve you anymore. We're only going to focus on that which you choose to be, that which you have written down as your I am statements, as the I choose is very powerful, as Florence Scovel-Shinn talks about, and your word is your wand. And so the mindfulness of the words that you have in your internal dialogue and in your external representation of self are more potent now than ever likely in your lifetime. So, and it's only going to get more intense. It's not like it's just this week and then, hey, you can go back to, you know, whatever your dopamine addiction of the month favorite thing. That's not the point. The point is from this point on, you're flipping the switch on your perspective, on your attention focus, on the focus of your words and how you represent yourself. So this is the getting out of hermit mode as well. I know ever since like 2020 timeframe, a lot of people, especially a lot of empaths and telepathics and sensitives and those who practice with energy work, that we just went into hermit mode and like hiding out, like, whoa, that's crazy stuff going on out there. I'll be over here in my cave until further notice. Well, it's further notice time, my loves. It is time to really step into and be the light. Now, that is part of the solar eclipse energy, is that being as the sun is also what we are being called to really step into. And the sun does not pass out sunscreen or sunglasses. And if you have an issue with how bright it is, you can go find a tree. This is part of being the light so bright that you're not having the distraction of, oh, is it too bright for them? Oh, can they not handle it? All of those kinds of contexts and inner voices get to be put on nap time. Okay, now we have the lunar eclipse in Pisces. So we have the solar eclipse, soul, fire, and Leo is fire. And then we have the lunar eclipse, which is a water element in a water, or the water planet, water, entity of this lunar cycles. And it's in a water sign. So literally fire, fire, and water, water coming together. And that is again, the fire of our inner light and plasma, and the water of our bodies is why we're doing the water and the crystal unification ceremony. Now, emotional culmination. This is where the hidden truths and secrets, that which is secret, is now becoming sacred. So you're going to see a lot more of the revelations, right? Things that are being revealed and shown to us that were previously secrets. We've seen a bunch of this just from the geopolitical things that have been revealed in the last couple of years. And there are going to be more of them. And this is meant to be your memo to reveal your hidden knowing of self and really bring that to the forefront to be of service and sharing your love with the world. So this activates your dreams as well. I always, always suggest to keep a dream journal and have it right by your bed so that even before you crawl out of your comfy little corner in your bed, that you write down at least a few of the things that happened in your dream. Maybe not the whole thing if you don't have time. Start to make time for it, because the dreams are becoming more and more profound. The term "the veils are thinning" is now "the veils are down." So this is where we have a lot more people around the world that are now experiencing spiritual awakening and Kundalini activations, and all of these other astral travel is also something that I'm noticing a lot of people are remote viewing. These are all things that we are meant to be able to do. And those are also some of the things that I'm going to teach with practices and exercises in the upcoming intuition class. Okay, the shift that you have asked for is here. This is like the big bat signal up in the sky is this constellation of the eclipses, of the Taurus in coming into Chiron. This is your bat signal, my loves. So not every eclipse brings big change. However, because these are together and they're in this fire, fire, water, water constellation, this is specifically meant to be the awakening of your heart wisdom, is what I call it. And that's another thing that science has now shown us, is that the power of feeling and our emotional intelligence of our emotional and energy bodies is 5,000 times more powerful than that of our brain. So the heart wisdom, right? Your heart knows, your body knows before your mind has a chance to think about it. So we're going to get into the feeling of that. Now, what Chiron in Taurus actually means, and I highly suggest that you look this up as it relates to your personal birth chart, see where Taurus might be in your wheel. is that we are coming out of the Aries that was in Chiron, which was basically burning us up, right? This is now that all of the karmic, whatever you want to call it, has been scorched. This is the rising of the Phoenix timeline for those of us who want it, for those of us that really know that Chiron, known as the wounded healer, is done. Like the wipeout is complete. Now the resurrection is upon us. So what do you want to resurrect? What are you actually claiming into your life from this day forward? Now we are all in witness of each other, and that is something that Jesus, Yeshua, talked about, is when two or more are gathered, then your intentions, your manifestations, whatever you want to call that which you are bringing in to your auric field and your intentions of your life, is in witness with all 74 people on this call right now. Okay, so feeling into the power of our collective field is also part of this. And look into the chats, you can see we have this planet covered. We are gridding. We are the crystalline intelligence that is upon the ley lines and the different areas of sacred sites, of in nature, of just being where you are is activating that energy field and that vortex. So that is what I'm seeing as we're on this call together. Now, the inner barometer of our sensing, instinct, deeper knowing, it's all intuition, is literally the front line of truth that we are meant to follow. Now, yes, there's still a process to get to that level where you're 100% feeling and trusting and doing that exactly what your intuition is pointing you to when it comes in, and closing that gap of doubt completely. And that's the point where it's the synchronicities, the miracles, the magic, whatever you want to call it. That's when the quantum field can actually work in your favor, because it happens so fast that the more that we keep up with doing what we are guided to do when we feel it, then the faster we'll actually feel time going, because the synchronicities will come in just as fast as you make those decisions and move on them when you're feeling that intuitive impulse. Now, there are 17 different languages of intuition, 17 different clairs that I'll be sharing with you. Yet the top 6 are the sensory clairs. These are the ones that they're talked about the most, that most classes focus on just the top 6. Yet there are 17 of them when you get into the other dimensions of meditation and realms of sacred knowing of yourself. So now, this part I kind of had to put in there is that your personal power and intuition is awakening with the collective transparency, even if you don't realize it. Now, ignoring this timeline, nothing will shift. Embracing this timeline, this is, again, the quantum leap moment. So when I teach the equation of time class, then I can show you how time in the universe works and how these portals open up. But we don't have time for that today. More to come, as you know. Okay, so this means that we have no choice. You showed up here on this call. That means you're all in, my loves. You're all in. The last 7 years, we have had the karmic bitch slapping of our lifetimes, and it was meant to be that way. Okay, this is like game over. We're done with that. This is now that shifting moment. So your mind, again, because of neuroplasticity, will take a little bit of time to catch up typically, unless you've been doing this work a long time, unless you know how to snap yourself out of monkey mind mode and really into your spirit, heart, wisdom mode, then yes, there will be some time to practice. Now, for that which we're doing today, I highly suggest that you take this through the end of the month and the rest of August so that you're really aligning with each of these sacred alignment days as they're happening. And you can refresh, you can upgrade, you can update, you can add more descriptive words if you'd like to as we go through the month. A dream comes in, you get an inspiration, write it down or act on it immediately. That is your intuition kicking in. Okay. Now, the our energy body and our emotional body and our soul body are all they have like neuroplasticity, right? They can stretch out and then come back, and then stretch out and then come back. Now, the point that we're going to be working on here is blending the neuroplasticity in the stretched out phase with neuroplasticity so that we are locking it in as our new operating system. That is where we have more of our soul taking the driving wheel, right? There's a beautiful song, Jesus Take the Wheel. It's time for your consciousness and your light body, your soul self, to take the wheel and learning to trust that. The outside world has been telling us for a good 1,000+ years or 2,000 years not to trust ourselves, that there's a third party intermediary, that there's somebody else that has to confirm what you're feeling is right for you. And that is no longer the case. With finding of the Pistis Sophia, finding of the Nag Hammadi sacred text, finding of all of the science of energy that's coming up, swipe left on all of that stuff. There's no more, it doesn't even make sense anymore. And so having that direct communion with yourself and carrying on with knowing that you know is what's going to really lock in the confidence of your intuition, and no more outsourcing of your trust. When I was doing my research on the intuition, I was absolutely aghast to find out that in 2025, $6.8 billion was spent on Etsy alone, only Etsy, and only on psychic readings. Okay, that's how much people are outsourcing their trust and not following their intuition. And I about cried. I was like, oh my God, really? Like this is our gift. This is our knowing. This is the real purpose of our soul connection, is to be guided all the time to our greater good, to being in full purpose of sharing our love and being creators of the light that we came here to create. So that is my desire and my goal for all of you, is to really step into that absolute knowing. Okay, we are going into the state of also primal trust. That means our innate body intelligence is coming online stronger than ever. And this is something that has been, I mean, the Jedi movies, right? Star Wars, this is the Jed, well, it's spelled with a D-J-E-D-I, the Jed of Egypt, is where they found and created all of the movies from that are shown in as the Jedi Mastery, right? This They are the Magi's, they are Yoda, and all are the guru. He's the guru, right? And so when you're in I remember this scene where the girl, I forget her name in the newer movies, was meditating and she just levitated, and all of the crystals that she was working with were levitating in her field. And that is literally what we are coming to. And this is something that when I studied in Indonesia, that levitation and flying was a normal thing for them. This is where now we're finding the studies and realization of gravity control. And that is in our plasma field, in our plasma body. So yes, I really feel that that will be possible in our lifetime. So now that the Aries season of basically burning the primal trust is bringing us back to our absolute knowing, as Taurus locks in to this Chiron position and really helps us to embrace our self-worth. The self-trust is a big one. Self-trust and self-worth go hand in hand. The pleasure that's good for you, desire that's good for you, right? The desire to share your love, and the prosperity. Now, money is changing. That's something that I cover in the Path of the Prophecies class, is the changing of money as we know it, and the currencies that are completely being flipped inside out right now. There's a massive, massive shift of the geopolitical power. Everything is showing us that those beliefs, those systems are kicking and screaming at the same time, making themselves obsolete. And so that's a part of the timelines and the stories that we've also been shown in many movies for, as long as I can remember, that there's this spiritual hidden messages and context in most all of these movies that we are drawn to because of their sci-fi expression. Okay, so what does worth look like? What does worth feel like to you? Now, it says money here, but we're talking about abundance of prosperity. Now, the abundance of this timeline is represented by how the Egyptians experienced the abundance of water of the Nile coming in and flooding the plains and feeding the crops with new nutrients from the water rising, and all the goodies that were, the microbes and that were really helping to nourish the soil. And so if you're feeling that energy, that flood of love into your life, how do you see it nourishing you specifically? That is the abundance that I'm talking about. The self-worth has to do with what love expression are you sharing and creating with the world. I'm not talking about your bank account here. I'm talking about how you feel wanted and valued in the world, and the benefits that are created in your life and in your community by you showing up with your greatest gifts. Now, that is we're going to go into detail on that a little bit more in the intuition class. Yet I really want you to focus today on your self-worth. What does it feel like when you feel valued? And your self-trust. What does it feel like when you know that you know that you know, and it gets confirmed as you act on that knowing? Okay. Now, the Sirius and Leo alignment is part of the gateway. You see, I put the math here for you to check out. The 8 plus 8 plus 8, 26 equals more eights is and of course that's the infinity sign, right? And amplifying the infinite abundance, the infinite joy, the infinite love, the infinite power, the infinite expression that we are here to really reveal ourselves as. And then karma loves to kick in. Now, how we want to operate in this timeline is that I see it as all of us being adopters of the humanity's future biological technology. We are the living technology, right? If you look at every mechanical technology out there, they have crystals in it. Every one of the devices that we're on to be on this call together have crystals in it in order to work. We have crystals, 5,000 little tiny nadis all around our head. We have these crystalline chakras in our body. So this is part of the quantum connection in the field that we're also creating, and that's what lights up in our body when we are following our intuition. That's the clairsentience coming online when you feel the something of truth or something guiding you through your physical body. Those are your biophotons lighting up and saying, yes, do that. And you can feel a magnetic pull towards it. And we're getting to that level of knowing more and more. CERN, the collider device. This is one of the largest technologies ever created in modern human times. And it's this massive tunnel in Switzerland where they smash particles together and just see what happened. Well, they've proven now that they've created alternate timelines. They've created other realities. They've, just done a whole lot of interesting things with playing God, basically. And the creator sciences of CERN and the scientists that have been working with this are now actually ramping it up. They're going to be doing, instead of 5 colliding energies, they're going to be doing 40 at a time and 40 per second rather than 5 per second. So until then, we have time to do that ourselves. And that's another thing that is very, very important. If you've ever done a global meditation or a collective meditation, as the Hindus called sadhanas, this is where we have seen massive shifts in the world take place instantly when we are all focused on a unified intention. And so I'm going to be holding more ceremonies, especially on or meditations on the equinox and solstices. So be sure to look for that because the collective potency of our energy, our focus of attention is now heightened and supported more than ever, especially now through 2050 when we look at this transformational astrology and energetics of where we are traveling through in the galaxy. So it's go time, baby. It's go time for all of our power and focus to really be dialed in. Okay, now let's get into our ceremony part. Yes, so that's your light beam. I just want to get into it. I just realized the time here. So please hang out as long as you can. And if you need to watch the recording, that will be available as well as the PDF to the slides. This is Dr. Imoto-san, and I had the pleasure of working with him and being one of his water psychics for about 6 years that he was doing while he was doing the Consciousness of Water Studies, another amazing book that proves this plasma intelligence through intention is working. So this is his 80th birthday. And this is what we're going to start our ceremony with. So please get your crystal and your glass of water. And we're going to take a moment to, and your notepad so we can write our love notes. And we're going to start with our glass of water. If you can take that in your hands, mine is in a copper cup. Yours can be in a glass or cup or whatever feels good and happy for you. Now, what's interesting is that in our body, they don't necessarily find H2O, but they find it in many other forms of how we drink it. So it literally turns into, gets soaked in to hydrate our plasma right away. So if you have your crystal near you, you can place it on your lap. You can have it somewhere close to your body. So we're connecting both things at once. And this is the glass of water that you're going to refill. You can have obviously fresh, clean cup of water every time, yet you're going to place it on top of your notes. So the first part is going back to that breath that we started with in the beginning, that beam of light, inhaling down through the divine, in through our body, and into our water. So we're going to do that with our diamond breath, which is inhaling for 6, holding for 6, and exhaling for 6, and then holding the exhale for 6. While you're holding the glass of water and visualizing that beam of light coming in through your crown, inhale in through your body, doing the count 5, 6, hold. Visualize this light infusing into your cup of water as you're holding your breath. Now exhale out your mouth. And you might feel or see the light of this breath going out into your auric field and filling your aura with more sparkles of light. Then hold the exhale, hold your breath out, pull up the diaphragm so you get those lymph nodes activated, and inhale through your nose, visualizing that beam of light coming in through your crown, holding it in your body. Now hold your breath for 6, filling your cup of water with that light as you're holding your breath. And exhale out your mouth, like blowing a balloon, and your breath is like sparkles of light going into your auric field, filling your happy bubble with your light, holding that breath out. This is where intuition comes in the most. So when we're holding the out breath. And 6, and inhale one more time. Visualizing that beam of light coming straight into your crown, down your spine, filling your whole body with light, filling your cup of water with light. Hold. And exhale out the mouth, filling your auric field with the exhale breath of that light, filling all the synchronicities into your field, into the plasma space of you and your beautiful body, and hold that exhale out. It should feel a little tense there towards the end. And one more deep inhale. Bringing the light in and through your body and holding it. Visualizing that light going straight into the water. Now exhale that light out and to fill your auric field. It should be bright and sparkly by now. And hold that breath out. Feel the emptiness of your mind so that your intuition can pop in. And come back to a nice relaxed breathing. Now you can place your glass of water down. Now, everyone know the Ho'oponopono? Yes? No? Let me stop the share there. Yes? Good. Awesome. Now, many people teach that the Ho'oponopono is to people that, or situations that you want to forgive. Yet we're focused on you today. And so the Ho'oponopono is about and for you right now. So as you do the Ho'oponopono, you do want to put your name in at the end of each one of the statements. So you say, I'm just going to use your names as I see them on the field here. So you say, I love you, Elizabeth. Please forgive me, Maria. The well, let me go back. I forgot the I'm sorry one. So I love you, Elizabeth. I am sorry, Maria. Please forgive me, Mackenzie. Thank you, Carla. So you want to have your name at the end of each one of those. And again, it's I am sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. And have your name at the each one of those. Now, what that is doing is cleansing and harmonizing any of these past karmic wounds, any of the burning of the phoenix and the Aries energy we've experiencing for the last 50 years. Anything that you may have of self-doubt in yourself is how the Ho'oponopono is working on yourself. Okay, now this has literally been a prayer that is probably the most studied prayer of most all time, that and the Hail Mary. So this is where it's most important to really feel that you are clear of any of those, anything that could get in the way of receiving your actual intuition and divine guidance. Now, in writing the love letter to yourself, this is, I'm sorry, to the water, right? Now, the water and the consciousness of water, as Imoto-san and many others now have proved, is what's going to be infusing your body with. So just this is a practice of how you want your internal dialogue to represent and mirror your external reality. So what do you want to experience in your life? Not, I don't mean like a, hot red Ferrari. I mean, what feelings, what experiences, what relationships, what actual magic do you want to have in your life? What is the feeling of that? So that is the emotional intelligence layer. So let's take a few moments to write that down. Everybody have your marker. I'll share my thank you, I love you note with water as well. And oh, thank you, Jen. I was just gonna ask somebody to pop that in to write it in for us. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you, Trish and Jen, for writing that in. So, yes. Oh, good. And even the explanations. Thank you. Thanks for helping out, guys. Appreciate you. Okay. So as we're infusing that into our water and then into our bodies, again, focus on the feeling as Abraham Hicks and many others. Florence Scovel Shinn, if you haven't read The Word is Your Wand or the book, the Game of Life book, I highly suggest that as well. Florence Scovel Shinn was my grandmother's mentor. So she goes way back and has inspired many of the spiritual teachers today. So let's take a moment to write it out. I'm starting mine with thank you, water. I love you. All the ways. Does anyone have any questions on this process? Deanna, yes, the recording will be on Dreamporting. What are you exactly writing? We're writing a letter of to the water. So thank you, water. I love you for what? For healing my body, for bringing me wholeness, for giving me the energy, blessing my life with the energy of abundance, of a joyful life, of what is it that you want to feel in your life. And we know this by contrast. And that is you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, you know what you do want because you know what you don't want. So you can start with that which is unfavorable or that feels uncomfortable in your life and flip the switch on that. What is the exact opposite that you do want to experience? Knowing the contrast is why it exists, so that it can show you what is it that I do want. If this is a no, then what is your yes? So right into thank you, water, for bringing what into your life, for helping your body to feel in which way. So these are just prompts, but for giving me clarity of thought, for bringing synchronicities into my life, for giving me the dreams of guidance, for aligning my frequency to receive. Again, fill in the blank there. Whether that if you're looking for, many people are looking for their divine counterpart or their best friend or their business partner or whatever that is. That's a frequency alignment thing that is our inner work to bring our frequency up to the level that matches the other person or the other energy that you want, and the quantum entanglement can actually happen when you get yourself to that belief state. So that is the frequency bit. Okay, I see most of you writing and illuminating me with light. Okay, everybody got that one? Hang on one second. I need to get my dog I'm house sitting is just needing some attention right now. I'll be right back. Is that okay? Okay, she's good. Now, our crystal, as I mentioned, it represents the plasma light within our body, the plasma light of divine creation in the universe. And this is where you're going to write your conscious command. Now, as I was taught by the Solomon order, is that the prayer is a limp handshake to God. It's a question, it's an asking. And when you get really desperate, it can become a begging for something, which, as again, we've also found in recent spiritual science, is basically only confirming to get more of that which you are asking for. So we're going beyond the asking phase, we're going into declaration. Okay, so we are calling it a conscious command, and this is your I am statement or your I choose statement. So the I choose, it might feel more empowering or more potent for different aspects of what you want to live, of what you want to feel in your life. So this is now again where this is, we don't want to go into just I am joyful. How are you joyful? What does the joyfulness feel like? How does that show up in your life? Is the clarity of the I am that you want to have. And that's what we are infusing our crystal consciousness with, is the I am and the I choose statements. Does that make sense so far? Yes? No? I see a couple of blank stares. Yes, okay, thank you, Natalie. I know you've all done some of this work in some way. So the I choose is also very powerful in getting the monkey mind, right? To like get in line. And now you can say, I choose to trust my intuition. I choose to know myself. I choose to have direct communion with the divine. I choose, and you can even put actions in there, to meditate at least once a day and give yourself these conscious commands as well. So again, we're taking that from the neuroplasticity of what our desires are and really harnessing that into the neuroplasticity of programming our mind to then experience that. Now, number one thing that really helps to lock this in is nature. And so, if you can, for those of you that are able to, is go outside and be in nature after this screen time together, and either go sit in the grass, or I see Mitch, looks like you're outside already. Awesome. Shannon, beautiful. You're in nature. Asta, there you are. Excellent. Already there, baby. Awesome. Oh, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Mitch. All right. So really harness into the crystalline field of the earth energy of Gaia's core. Now, as I talk about in the Path of the Prophecies class, our earth is evolving as a cosmic being, as an astral being itself. It's going through this 24,000 year cycle of evolution, and it's taking a big breath in many ways. So now connecting us, I choose to be connected with Gaia's intelligence. That alone will help you to really feel when shifts are happening. Okay, so very important for us to be aligned with the cosmos and the cosmic bodies of Earth, of your astrology in this way, right? I choose to be aligned with my astrology, with this gateway. So really feel into what is it that is going to bring you into your aligned calibration that will allow you to reveal yourself confidently, right? What does it take for you to trust yourself again, to not have to go to their psychics on speed dial, right? That's one of the things that I noticed too in many conversations is, oh, I heard my psychic told me that, my reader told me this. Da, da, da. Well, what did your body say? What did your meditation show you? What did your dreams reveal? Okay, so write down if you choose to trust yourself, right? That's a really big one, especially right now. I choose to embody the truth of my divinity. I choose to live in purpose. These are all things that I have on my list as well. So, And right now, I'm being called out to rise up in a big way. And that's what is something else I'm excited to share with you and have an interview on the Telepathy Tapes podcast that's coming out on September 9th. So that'll be live out to the world coming up soon. And so that is my declaration of choosing to be in divine service. And guess what? The how was not nothing I did. The how was orchestrated in the quantum field. The how is brought to you by synchronicities, by following your intuition to speak to a person that leads to something else that then makes an introduction. And next thing you know, voila, I was being contacted by telepathy tapes for an interview. I didn't know to try to plan that. It wasn't going out and seeking. It was me proclaiming to myself in witness of the divine that I am here. I'm ready to show up. Show me, make it. Now, here's another thing that I'd love for you to each write at the bottom of your declaration. And this is an intuition activator. Make it clear, make it known, make it now. Okay, those are command statements. Make it clear so that if somebody wants to write that in the chat, that would be awesome. Make it clear, meaning that when it comes through, that you know it's not just a random thought. You know that's your intuition. That's your soul saying, hey, Paul and Jill, it's time for you to listen up. Get this one, right? This is the your divine, your guides, your angels, like giving you a little shoulder tap of don't listen to that outside world. This is what is really for your highest good. This is what we want, that you want, that the world wants of you. Okay, that is not going to have necessarily all the time a confirmation in the outside world. In fact, the outside world is typically trying to pull us off that intuitive track. It's up to us to choose to follow the signs, the symbols, the synchronicities, the alignments, and feel into that yes or no. And if we have time today, if enough of you stay on, then I can show you how to do the body pillar intuition tester. Okay. Okay. Make it clear, make it known, make it now. Beautiful. Is everyone good on their declarations, your crystalline declarations? Yes. Awesome. Any other questions? Thank you for writing that in there. Awesome, John. Glad you're on Mount Shasta. I had such a powerful experience being brought into Telos when I was there in the Twisted Tree vortex. There's a place in the forest. I think it was on the trail to Fairy Falls. And there's this one area off the trail where every tree is literally twisted. You can see the bark and everything twisting in the tree. And they're all in a circle. And so they're holding this portal field like. And then our group, we sat inside the Twisted Tree vortex and meditated. And whoom, I got brought straight into this crystalline green plasma field, similar to Justin's background there, is what it looked like. So these realms are accessible. These realms are here. Okay, so I talk about that a little bit in the Path of the Prophecies class about Tiamat and the sacred dragon, and that a lot of people that relate to the dragon energy is because of the story of Tiamat and this, what they call the dragon bloodline. Now that is part of the ethereal realms of the plasma field that are coming back into our conscious awareness, finally. So that's another proclamation, right? Is I choose to be aligned with my plasma field. I choose to have my plasma intelligence guide me. So depending on what level of spiritual geek zone you're in, you can write that into your declaration. Yes, Chrissy. All right, it's 11:11. It's 1:11 here. Awesome. Okay, perfect timing now to bring this together. So the thing you're going to do is take your declaration page, the your love letter to water, and here's mine. Okay, and you're going to keep that wherever you drink your water. Now that's on my desk right now, is going to be right here. At night, then I bring this into my bedroom, put it on the nightstand, and place my water on top of that. Okay, always charging, ABC, always be connected to your intentions. So that you want to ABC to the divine with your awareness and ABC with your intentions. Always be connected by writing your love letters. Writing, you can write love letters to your angels, your guides, your ancestors, your soul, your spiritual doppelganger, whatever you want to call it, is you're writing these intentions not as a question, not as an asking or a prayer, as an actual divine declaration. And that's where the power of the divine then really knows that we're serious. Well, yes, star serious and also like intentionally serious. Like we mean what we're bringing in here. And that's also the level of importance that we need to have with ourselves, right? Is that we're serious about this. We're not playing around. It's not some fluffy kumbaya conversation. This is the science of spirituality and alchemy that we're doing here today. Okay, so now placing that water there and get your crystal in your hand. Today I have my quartz sphere. I also use this for rubbing my feet in the morning and getting my good, Jennifer. Oh, there you are, darling. Thanks for sending your message the other day. Good to see you. Mwah. So get that in your hands, bring that together. Okay. Now, if you can take this crystal and place it along the center line of your body and take a moment to, is it okay to use a crystal bracelet with multiple crystals? Yes, absolutely. Yes. If you have multiple types of crystals, then they may all hold a different archetype of energy, yet that's okay too. So just speak to them with that knowing and that trust. So giving yourself a moment and a few breaths. Again, let's do the breath that connects us with all divine creation and all light. Inhaling the light of the divine in and down through your crown, down your spine, filling your body with light. Taking a few moments of holding that breath, holding the light, infusing the crystal with your light as you hold your breath. Exhaling your light into your auric field, filling your toroidal energy body with that light, holding the exhale out so you can receive any messages. Some of you might receive a voice or a sound. You might see numbers. You might see a name. And inhale through your nose again. Inhale the light through your crown, in your body. Holding that light, beaming it into the crystal that you're holding in your body or on your skin, thanking it for receiving your intentions, and exhaling your breath and all the light that we just inhaled and filling your toroidal field again. This is the illumination practice where the more you do it, the more people can feel you walking into a room before they see you. Hold the breath out. I might be off count a little bit, but you guys get it. Hold the breath out. That empty vessel means that the divine can fill it with guidance. One more time. Inhale the beautiful beam of light in through your crown, down your spine, and filling your body. And hold it. Beam it into the crystal that you're holding in your hands along your center line of your body. And exhale, visualizing your breath as light, twinkling little sparkles, filling the sphere of energy around your body, making you magnetic, to that which is your most desired timeline, holding that breath out, feeling the empty vessel so your soul can write you love notes back. And you can take a breath and just relax. Feel the trust of knowing, feel the trust of alignment, feel the connection with your crystalline cellular body, the crystal in your hands, the crystalline core of the earth, the crystalline light of the sun, the beautiful purple rays of the Sirius sun. This is all connected through you and as you in this moment and always. And if you received any other messages while we went through the breath exercise, keep writing them down. Keep track of what your intuition is showing you and guiding you and giving you. Now that the diamond breath, that's something that I do myself every day before going into actual kriyas. That is also known as box breath. I just like the diamond shape. So same thing is the equal breath of inhale, hold, exhale, hold. And as I said a few times, in the exhale, hold out part, that is when we are receiving the most. Okay, we're inhaling the light of our knowing as a connection. We're holding it to really infuse our intentions. We're exhaling it into the energy of our plasma field for aligning only with the frequency of those intentions that we just set forth. And then you're holding it out to then be given the divine directives, the guidance, the intuitive next step. Now, for those of you that really want to activate this more, then you can command stronger things unto yourself, right? You want to snap out of a certain situation, snap into and write down the clarity, the more emotional clarity that you can write down and infuse into yourself, the faster and stronger it will happen. Now, as it's talked about in Tarot, know that tower moments, right? Things that like all of a sudden like collapse or shift or bounce out of your life is for your highest good. That is part of what you asked for. And especially from now in the next 3 days is when it happens the fastest, when we are in these collective intentions. Now let's all take a drink of our water, nice and infused with our love notes, with our gratitude. Feels good. One of the tests that we did with Imoto-san was that we could actually taste the difference of our water within 3 minutes of prayer, 3 minutes of conscious intention. The flavor of the water would actually change. And that's where we then tested it with science to show that it went from being kind of bobulous and not so together to actually becoming structured simply through our energetic presence and intention. So that's how powerful you are. That's how much I want you to feel that it just happened right now. And this is what is meant to happen as you practice it more. It becomes stronger and stronger. And I will come back and share more with you as we go and grow along this journey together. Okay, we have, I want to just do a quick closing of the portal here with all of you, and then we'll get into Q&A. So if you place both hands again along the center line of your body, and visualizing yourself as a beautiful beam of light inside your happy bubble, inside your auric field, illuminated, magnetic to that which you love. As we give thanks for this beautiful day of remembrance together, for being in witness to and for and as each other. As we give thanks for all that is, for all that was, and for all that ever shall be, through and as the greatness that we are, as the beaming lights of love in this world. If we have the collective intention of all of us living as our greatest love and purpose, it's also been proven that just one person vibrating at the frequency of love can affect over 500,000 people within their circumference, within their radius, within their field or city or zone. So be that light. Ignore the rest of the distractions. Focus on what you know to be true and trust your intuition to guide you there. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for showing up to yourselves. Thank you for showing up for the collective, for the planet, for the divine. I appreciate you so much. Mwah. Thank you. All right, I'm open to questions. If any of you have any questions you want to ask or clarity about things, for the love of Source, my given name is Styron Trius. Awesome. Chiron Taurus? Oh, how about that? Yeah. I've had a lifetime of healing wounds, intention of receiving Florence Convulsion's first book. Synchronicity, I found complete works with my last name written in it a couple days ago. Et voila. You see, that's how it's meant to be. Amazing. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, thank you. Yes, it was my birthday a little over a week ago now. Thank you, Ryder. Glad you're here. You mentioned intuition check, but have to go in a few. Yes, so we didn't have time to do that today. I have done it in previous classes on dream porting, but you'd have to look for the advanced intuition course, and I'm not sure what membership level that's on. Another amazing session. Hey, Quentin, glad you're here. Okay, yes, if you need to go, you gotta go. I love you all. Thank you for showing up. Thank you, Jordan. Good to see you. Trish, yes, it was July 31st. Thank you. Go for a swim. Yes, absolutely. Go ground in nature. Go for a swim. Justin, I think you had your hand up earlier in the beginning of class and ceremony. Did you have a question you wanted to ask?
Actually, no. I think like the energy, I don't know, maybe made it click. I actually didn't physically click it,
Oh, okay, great.
but I did write something in the chat. I was just wondering if you knew anything about gematria, because my full name, Justin Alexander Edgel, equates to angel number 222, and I was just curious.
Ah, fabulous. Awesome. Yes, I definitely have studied gematria and I used to have gematria numbers written all on like I made like a whole border on the ceiling of my room with gematria numbers when I was walking with the cane for many years and healing my body. And I feel it had a profound influence on the energetic field of my room. And so gematria is like the starting point of modern numerology. And the 222s represent the knowing and connection of self. It's like those that are and partnership. So partnership with yourself and your soul first and foremost is the 222. There are a few of the Indian Hindu yogis that write 222 on their forehead to represent their conviction to being in alignment with their divinity. And yeah, it's very powerful. What do you know about your gematria numbers there?
Wow, thank you for sharing that.
Hmm.
Not to make this about me or to say a long story. Kind of what similar to what you said. My second suicide attempt, I actually afterwards started seeing the angel number 222 on times everywhere. And at this time, I was an atheist and I didn't understand anything.
Mm,
spirituality or anything, and all this stuff. So that's beautiful. My
yeah.
favorite numbers I picked as a kid were 2, 4, and 9. And I learned that 2 is partnership, 4 is like trust from the guidance, the 4 elements, and 9 is like human altruism and stuff.
Yep, absolutely. As well as systems and cycles. And number four is wingtips up, baby. That's your angels coming in hot. And the two is again your connection in your sacred relationships. Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Justin. Ryan, good to see you here today. Hi.
Hey, good to see you. We actually met at a retreat in Austin with Daniel Raphael.
Oh, fabulous. Glad you're
Yeah,
here.
yeah. So a lot has happened. A few months after that, I had a Kundalini awakening at a Dr. Joe Dispenza event when deep meditation, and
Nice.
had a big angel engulf me in love, and I saw Sphinx over top of the pyramid. And it like gave me a message that like kind of like that's how the pyramids were built in some way involving that. And the thing is, I wanted to ask you about this. Ever since I've had a difficult time meditating, like my nervous system can't handle it, especially deep breath work. Ever since the Kundalini awakening. And I did get COVID during that time and I got really sick. I'm just wondering if you had any advice because I get messages and very powerful things when meditating, but my body and my nervous system have a hard time handling it.
Ah, okay. And are you a generator in human design by chance or a manifesting generator? Do you know?
I forget. I'm sorry.
Okay. I just got an intuitive thing on that is that your energy body is needs a little bit of preparation before you go into stillness of meditation. So if you can do some active meditation, moving your body, going for a walk, a swim, doing something of like physical activity, doing some deep stretching before you go into meditation, that'll help to calibrate your nervous system to receive the energy. And then as far as like your lung recovery or what may have been left over from the COVID stuff is, and this is something that I swear by for myself. My dad swears it saved his life, is what he says specifically, is nebulizing the hypochlorous solution. Are you familiar with a nebulizer?
No.
So a nebulizer you can get online very easily, and it takes the particles of like colloidal silver or hypochlorous in this case and turns it into a super refined mist. And this is not medical advice. Okay, just had to say that. This is just personal experience. And then hypochlorous solution is the same pH as our saliva, and it's known as a disinfectant, antimicrobial, whatever, all the things. And it's used even in Stanford Medical Center for at the burn center for keeping things nice and sterile. So I put that in my nebulizer and I, do some inhalation on that, and it helps to clear everything in the bronchioles and the lungs, and it just feels so good. So that's something I do myself when I feel like the breath is getting restricted in some way. Yet for you specifically, Ryan, I'm also feeling like your body needs to charge up in order to charge down. So if you do some active movement, some stretching before you go into meditation, that'll help you. And again, when you have the written intentions with the water activated on it, also write that in your intentions. Thank you for soothing my nervous system. Thank you for helping my body stay centered to this energy. Whatever it is that you want to feel, write that in as your intentions and have your water bring that into your body. Okay, that's one of the fastest ways to upgrade your cellular intelligence is with the conscious water activation.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. And yoga really helps me. That like is a
Yeah.
great way to get the energy flowing too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And in Kriya yoga practices, there's about half an hour of what they call energization exercises, 38 different movements that we are taught to do way before meditating techniques. And so that activation, that energization is a centeredness. And then once you're centered, then the stillness will actually make sense to your nervous system.
Oh my God, that's amazing advice. Thank you so much.
Good. My pleasure. Hi, Jen. Thanks for being here and sharing some notes.
My pleasure. Thank you. Everything you were saying today, as always, resonated with me. I found out that my origin story is with Egypt and a connection with Nephthys, Isis's sister.
Sister. Yeah.
Yes, which I understand some of the calling I have to work with hospice and cancer patients and so forth. Um, I also was wondering, because you had such great advice for other folks, if there's anything intuitively that you're picking up for me. I feel so many breakthroughs, awakenings, activations, downloads, just very receptive and very blessed.
Beautiful. Um,
Mhm.
as you were speaking, Jen, I saw like a book of flowers open. Are you working on a writing project or sharing your writing work or authoring something?
It's interesting because every day I have an accountability group, and there's always a creative element of what we're doing and sharing about the different elements that we're embracing. Like for me right now, it's air, which is interesting because you talk about writing, communicating, etc.
Mm, okay. So, as far as the what you're communicating and sharing, it I'm seeing something of that being and what kind of work do you? What kind of healing or you said you work with patients?
I actually lead a nonprofit here in Southern California that helps veterans and military personnel when their loved ones are hospitalized. And through that work, I've been connected to, I believe my higher purpose is to help with healing folks in transition. And that's why I called to hospice. And I study many modalities, but one in particular that allows me to volunteer because I'm not in the medical field, but allows me to it's called Healing Touch, but it allows me to volunteer at the hospitals and work with patients.
Beautiful, amazing.
Mhm.
Now there's something in that is what I'm seeing in this book of flowers. Like
Yeah, beautiful.
almost, I'm not sure if you're in the death doula phase or in the healing hands, which is interesting because that's the name of the Reiki school that I went to and certified by when I was like 14. But
Hmm.
the combination of that is that I'm sure you see and experience a lot of miraculous events in that very sacred time of hospice care, of healing care, of hands-on loving these people. There's miracle stories there that you're being asked to share. So that's
Yeah.
the flowers on the page. I just got full body chills on that.
Mhm.
The flowers
Oh,
on the
beautiful.
page are the stories of the miracles that you're helping to facilitate as a healer. And as you share that, or put it as a book, or put it as a blog, or whatever it is in your sharing, that it connects with a lot of people that are grieving or needing support in their healing, and it's soothing and healing them from just knowing that that's possible. So however you feel called to share that, there's something really beautiful that you're facilitating that has greater ripples of impact in the world as you reveal the story of it.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank
How
you
does
so
that land?
much. Beautifully. Thank you.
Good. Awesome.
Appreciate you.
My pleasure. Pascal. It's like, where's Waldo game? Where in the world is Pascal today?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Great. Um, yeah, I'm sitting in a park in Germany. Uh, so what I'm wondering, yeah, one part of me is always craving for the place where I'm belonging to. And but in that case, what I'm also always find out is I've got this almost like a beast inside of me, a lot of fire energy, and even if I'm in communities, or it's like I feel like I can't bring out this energy. It's almost like it's if it's too much, and um, yeah, sometimes I just don't know how to handle this, because if I feel like if I'm not able to bring out this fire energy, it burns me right inside
From
of
the
me.
inside, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So, and we have, I remember talking about this before, Pascal, is that what is your favorite outlet of this expression, right? How are you emoting the energy and motion that you're feeling through your body? How are you expressing it to the world right now? Because no matter
Hmm.
where you are, you have the opportunity, you have the technology, you have the ability to share your love with the world. And that is what is burning up inside you is how do I get this love? It's so intense and put it to the world. Right? Todd's here. Todd's channeling and inventing amazing things and healing the soil and putting that frequency and that love out into the world. How are you putting your love, that which you feel? How are you able to express that in the world? Is it writing songs? Is it doing silly dances in public? Is it tree hugging and showing people how to, connect with nature? Like what is an expression of that fire in you that you love?
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely this kind of playfulness,
Yep.
be crazy, do something extraordinary, and yeah, that's what I'm always also feel like is like yeah, I'm feel also feel pretty strong what's going on in the world, and then I feel a lot of anger, and sometimes I just feel like okay, I want to start a revolution, and
Yeah, good.
but
But so here's the thing with that, and here's the flip the switch that when you're being triggered by those worldly events or the news, right? There's a shit show out there. I'll just call it as it is. All right. That is wanting to grab your attention and pull it into feeding the beast of that energy of that story. Okay. It's not about revolting against whatever that thing is. All that's doing is feeding the beast of the problem in the first place. The flip is what is the opposite energetic expression of that? If this is a hot mess over here, how can you create a love bubble over there? What is the other place that is the attention of good that you can create as a distraction, as a demonstration? The word demonstration is an act to keep your demons straight. What are demons? They're thought forms, they're belief systems that are opposing each other. So you don't want to feed your opposing belief system or your opposing demonstration. You want to create a demonstration of love that makes that one obsolete. Don't look over here. We already know that that's a hot mess. This is where the love is. This is where the light is. This is where Pascal's dancing in the park in Germany today. People are going to love to watch that, look at that, feel that, because that gives us a happy feeling. That gives us a vibration of love, right? Being angry and then feeding the anger of a thing is like drinking its own poison. Yet going in the opposite direction and creating or expressing an opposite energy of that which triggered you awake. That's why I always say what triggers you awake is your mission to take. But the mission isn't to fight the thing. Your mission is to create the solution. So focus on your solution and start writing down your ideas. Command that the divine shows you what is the next step. right? The divine and the way intuition works, you're never going to get the whole roadmap all at once. Well, maybe, but typically not. Typically, you get the next step and the next step, and you follow that one, and then the divine says, he trusts us. Yay, let's give him another, right? And you get a Scooby snack of another intuitive impulse. And then you get a divine brick from heaven falls, and you're like, whoa, there's that, only because you trust it. But in order to get that momentum going, you have to start with the impulse of how is it that you're going to share your love and why? When you start there, then the divine can start kicking in and being like, oh, how about that? Look at him. He's not feeding the beast. Let's give him some more of that energy to fuel that desire to share your love.
Okay, great. Yeah. Thanks for the insights. That's something to tune in to more.
And where did Wendy go? Wendy, I know you had your hand up. Is she still here? She may have left. No? Wendy left?
I'm
Okay.
here.
Oh, you are
I'm here.
Hi, Wendy.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you. I haven't been on Dreamporting for some time. It's wonderful
Oh,
to listen and feel you.
thank you.
Um,
Glad you're here.
I yeah, thank you. Really appreciate your presence and just being in the community with everyone and them feeling on this call. I'll be 67 this year, and I had a Kundalini awakening back in 87 at the end of the Mayan calendar. Everything that you share is just ping, 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 ping. You know, all the different references that you're using. It's just like going off in my body as you speak them.
Good.
And when you were sharing about the nebulizer that I also used during COVID, but I didn't know how you spelled what you said. I was told by a naturopath to use something that you didn't say. And I do like the colloidal silver, but you also offered something else that your father also appreciated. I would love for you to put that in the chat, how you spell that. Um,
Hypochlorous, it's called.
and like,
Oh yeah, I forgot to give
yeah,
you
I'd
the link.
love, oh,
Here's the
there it
link.
is. Fantastic.
This is hypochlorous. That's the link to my psychic skills class. And for all of you dream porters, I will be creating a special coupon for an early bird dream porters only special. So the link is live now, yet all the automations and things I'm finishing up by Monday. So just stay tuned because I will be sharing again a dream porters only discount for that class as promised. And then there's the stuff is called hypochlorous. There was Dr. Jeremy Stone is the one who introduced me to hypochlorous. He's the founder of the Briotech hypochlorous company. So that is how I learned about it was directly through him. And it was Briotech scientists that figured out how to stabilize the hypochlorous molecules because before in other productions, the hypochlorous would basically destabilize and become oxidized within about 45 minutes of putting it in a bottle. Well, they figured out how to stabilize it in structured water. So now it actually stays as hypochlorous in the solution for quite a long time. I spray it on my face every day. It's my astringent. It's my go-to for anything. I have a itch in my eye. I spray it right in there. It doesn't sting or anything. Again, it's the same pH as our saliva. So it's my go-to for all the things, including my nebulizer. Okay, first Jordan and then Henry. Hi, Jordan.
Hey Anna, so good to see you again. Great
Bye.
session. I really appreciate your presence, everything. Really enjoyed it. And
Thank
yeah, I've just been similar to Pascal, having a lot of energy come through, a lot of fire, expressing that in creating videos, trying to keep up with the amount of things that are kind of coming through. But I'm just curious, is there anything for you, or anything for you coming through for me? I resonated with a lot of the things around like, creating a demonstration of love and what that really looks like. So yeah, just curious more than anything else.
Let me tune into your field here for a moment. Oh, interesting. So, what I saw you doing was putting your foot down. Like it was like Thor thumping his energy into the field. So this is like a proclamation, right? Is What do you stand for?
Yeah.
What are you actually claiming and putting as your stake into your sacred ground? Okay. Now, again, when we do that, when we focus on that which we want and that which we choose with intense focus and attention, everything else goes away. You don't have to worry about, letting go of this or cutting cords of that or focusing on what you don't want. That's not the point. The point here is being so fierce and so clear about claiming who you are, right? Who I am is what I do. How and who with and all the other details, that's what the divine fills in. You have to claim yourself. And this is what you're being asked to do right now, specifically, Jordan. Yes, share your love in creative way, all the things. But for you specifically, you got to get really, really effing clear with yourself. Is no longer thinking about what you don't tolerate, what you don't want to do. No, no. What do you choose?
Yeah, I
And
feel
get
that.
super clear. And that's it's a combination of the divine feminine fierce love and the divine masculine force of truth. And so bringing that together and locking it into yourself is what you're being asked to do right now.
Wow, love that. Thank you so much. Amazing.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Henry, how are you? Glad you're here.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Welcome. Glad you made
Um,
it today.
what was that?
I said, I'm glad you made it today.
I'm glad I made it too. I actually wasn't really expecting to um talk to you. Um,
Surprise.
um, I just knew if I wouldn't right now that I would regret it. So like I've I've actually since I joined Dreamporting, I've gone through a lot of like mental changes or changes in my body. Just I have felt lately like my body is aligning. Um, Last night or yesterday, I was just laying down and my entire chest, I felt like it was vibrating. I don't know what that means, but and also I've been trying to see what I could possibly do maybe that so I won't be so alone all the time because I have
Hmm.
tried to have quality friendships in my life or relationships, and I want to grow, but they just, I've been alone most of my life, and and I'm just, I don't know what else to do. Um, but I'm very thankful for drink porting right now, and I'm thankful for being here and talking to you.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Henry. And you're not alone in this moment. We all see
Right.
you. We're all in this collective field together. Mackenzie's up there sending you love right now. Have you,
Yeah.
and where in the world are you, Henry?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, in Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me tune into your field. And what is your first and last name, please?
Henry Gomez.
Henry Gomez. Hmm. Are you familiar with Paramahansa Yogananda?
Mm,
I mentioned
yeah,
a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah, he's the founder of Self-Realization Fellowship. So what came through was one of his most potent quotes, which is environment is stronger than will until you have the will to change your environment. So there's something in, and there's two ways. Either you get up and you physically change your environment and move or go somewhere, or second, you become the conduit of such potent energy that it changes the environment around you. Okay, those are the two ways you change your environment. Now, depending on what your work is in the world, what you want to do in the world, that might be the shift of environment that you're asking for, of going somewhere, even if it's for like a retreat experience and really connecting with aligned, energetic people, or like-minded is the famous word for it, but really is your vibrational conductivity is what's going to attract you to people that are on your same wavelength, right? And being an empath and being sensitive, as I can feel you picking up on other people's energy, is something that either inspires people or intimidates them. And you're like a silent intimidator and don't even know why. And it's because your energy is vibrating at such a conductive field that unless you're with people that are vibrating at that same wavelength, then it's like they can't see you. You're going right over their head, kind of a thing.
Right.
And so this is where being with your tribe, that's why you're here on Dreamporting, is because we're all the sacred weirdos in the world, right? Weird means supernatural. Supernatural is finally becoming normal. However, this is where we all can relate to each other. Now, the second thing coming in is your astrocartography. Are you familiar with astrocartography?
No.
That is, if you go to just astro.com, go to astro.com, put in your information, fill out a little profile thing that has your birthday, birth time, birthplace. And then once the astro.com has your birth chart information, go to the section where it says free horoscopes and click on the one that says travel. Awesome, Eddie. I'm glad this applies to you as well. The website's right there, Trish, astro.com. And then you're going to click down on the free horoscope side and click on travel horoscope. I don't know why they name it travel. It should be called astrocartography because that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Now, it'll pull up a map of the world. And on that map, it'll have all of these lines going through it. And that is your astrology as it relates to the Earth's ley lines. Okay, now you click on one of those lines on the map there that pops up, and then on the right side, it'll show this is your Saturn ascendant line or whatever, and it'll tell you if that is a good part of the planet for you or not. And I suggest that you start with Atlanta, Georgia, and you look at the astrocartography of where you are in Atlanta right now, and I have a feeling it's going to tell you it's not exactly conductive to your field, is
No,
it?
it's not.
Yeah.
Mm.
There you go. Now, the fact that you already know that and feel that is why I'm picking it up. That's why I'm sharing this message with you. So you're not in the environment that is actually supportive to the archetype of the vibrational being that you are here, which means if you got to get up and move, even if it's for an explorative retreat or to wanderlust or whatever they call it. Are you able to travel or move or things like that?
Well, I've been thinking about it. I have no idea where.
Okay.
I don't know where to
Um,
go.
and this goes for everybody, is if you'd like a session with me, again, I have dream porting only, like don't tell people I give you such a discount kind of offer. So you can send me an email if you'd like to do a session. We can cover a lot of this in just half an hour. So we'll portal up. We channel specifically for you. And for anyone here who's had a session, you know. So the kind of stuff that comes through, I couldn't know to know. So just that we're starting out already with this part is that is start dreamscaping, is look at places around the world that inspire you. Okay, you're already empathic. You have that what I call man tuition, right? Use it. Look at the, play. Do you want to go to a rainforest or do you want to go to a beach? kind of environment. Okay, that starts to narrow down your scope of focus, right? Do you want to be in service? Do you want to learn something? Those are two opposite spectrums of your divinity. Okay. Somewhere that I spent a lot of time, as many of you know, is Damanhur in Italy. That is somewhere that I always suggest for people to check into and feel if look at the astrocartography there. They have what I did from the very beginning was called the New Life Program. I just checked in for 3 months. It was like, take it from here, folks. Like, let me show me what I came here for. And there are many other places. There are farm stay projects. There are retreat centers looking for, people to come and just volunteer. There's all kinds of things that the world is asking and looking for you at the same time of you looking for it. And the first way to start with that is to really feel into and write some notes down, right? Write this in your commands and make it clear, make it known, make it now. Have the universe give you hints, right? Have your divine guides and your angels and your whoever it is, however it is that you relate to in your beliefs, is speak to them to show you where to go, who with, why, whatever it is, that you can ask for that divine direction and then start feeling into the different places that you feel called to or that you've heard of, right? And then do your astrocartography for sure. That'll really help. And yeah, just getting out of that Atlanta bubble that you're in will start to move things as well, because there's something there that is not in your favor. But when you look that up
Yes.
on your astrocartography, it'll tell you why.
All right.
Cool. And if you'd like a session, send me an email right
What is
there.
your email? Or
It's love@annanaturalista.com. It got covered up there in the chat. So Um, yep, we're
all
going over
right.
2 hours, Yvonne. It started 2 hours ago. I just keep going. Okay, one
Okay.
more question, and then I really have to go. I don't see your name here. It just says iPhone. What's your name, lovely?
Hi, thank you so much, first of all, for such a beautiful ceremony. I really enjoyed it.
My pleasure. Glad you're here.
Mm, and my name is Ingrid.
Hey.
Hi. So I have had a little break from the spiritual community, I would say. And yeah, I needed a little break from it.
Me too.
But we're always on the spiritual path, as everyone knows. But I'm also curious if you have any particular downloads, anything that comes up for you around my journey.
May I have your full name at birth, please?
Yes, it's Ingrid Lid Witteven, and my birth date is 30th of August, 94.
Beautiful. Thank you. Okay. I just got told to put my hair down for this one. So
Is it?
yeah. Let's see what's happening here.
Hello.
Okay. Okay, there's a lot coming in all of a sudden. And this also applies to a few others of you. So every question that is asked by one person applies to several others. So takes this as it resonates for who it resonates, okay? Is that the spiritual community, the conscious community, which I love to make fun of, is evolving sometimes too fast. Now, being brought up in Kriya Yoga communities and indigenous and watching all of that, I have seen the progression of the new aginess really, really frustrate me. In fact, I just did a podcast with my friend Sasha Stone last week talking about what I call the spiritual sociopaths. Okay, the ones that are taking advantage of drugs, that are turning tantra into sexual predator issues and the God complex instead of God consciousness of extreme ego. And I'm also seeing that there was a narcissistic relationship that you experienced and was part of making it really, really clear of who and what you can no longer accept in your life. So was that like last year? I saw like time frame.
Yeah. I was in a relationship, yeah, about last 1 year ago,
Yeah.
and that breakup was very, very tough for me. I was very connected to him. He wasn't necessarily in the spiritual community, but he has some tendencies towards that in his mindset and way of being. And the spiritual community, it all depends, but just to take it under one umbrella. But yeah, I guess he was narcissistic, but it was really hard for me to kind of see what's real or not real. I thought he cheated on
He's a
me, but
specialist then. He's a covert narcissist.
uh,
So there's the covert narcissists are specifically the ones that study and use spiritual words and studies to manipulate people and to get things for themselves and to, take advantage of people. Okay. This is it, and again, not to focus on like blaming or shaming them, yet taken the responsibility that you can now identify this archetype. Okay. So that is the empowering moment, is to say, yes, that happened. And I now know how to recognize someone who's gaslighting, someone who is covertly manipulating, someone who's using spiritual studies for getting to you or, confusing you, right? The very first sign that you're in a potential narcissistic relationship is that you are confused of your own truth. First thing.
yeah.
Okay. And if you look up, they just do a little Google or an AI search and ask for what are the top 10 or top 13 signs of a narcissist. It'll bring you up a list and you will probably check all the boxes, my love. So if you see that, and I've been there, done that, that is the number one folly to my own intuition, is feeling that I want to trust what he's saying. I want to trust the relationship. I want to, believe this love bombing is true, right? No, like learn my lesson, right?
Yeah.
And so that is what I'm feeling specifically for you, is that your retreat from the spiritual community or your own spiritual studies was partly because of that manipulation. Bringing you back is the spiritual study of your self-empowerment, of your self-trust, of never allowing anyone to knock you off your rails again.
Mm, yeah.
Okay?
hmm
You start questioning yourself, boom, they're out of your life. Or, you don't have to be, like ranting, screaming banshee about it. Quietly leave. That is like the most stealth, God consciousness way to really harness the power of your life, is to walk out gracefully, to peace out of a relationship with your integrity intact, right? They can do whatever they want with it. You have the responsibility for yourself, and that's it. So, claiming back your truth, your power, your divinity, and your intuition is the most important thing in recovering from any of that. Any narcissistic parent or partner or situation. I mean, I was just helping a client here in Austin that got completely derailed by going to a medicine journey, and the pseudo shaman, right? Because it wasn't a real indigenous elder, it was a pseudo shaman that completely messed them up and attempted sexual misconduct while they're on medicine. Okay. Like, and this was the fourth time that this guy had done it. And she was feeling guilty. She was feeling like it was her fault. She was feeling all of these horrible things, right? And that itself was a narcissistic wound. Now, recovering from that from a relationship rather than just one-off experience means that pattern, that habitual neuroplasticity groove had been pushed in further and further in the brain, which means you now get to fill it in with the choice of your new beliefs. What do you actually want to experience for yourself before you go into any other relationship, if you can, is fill in that neuroplasticity divot of what those beliefs were, of what the questioning of yourself was, with confidence, with self-trust, with your internal dialogue of what you now choose to believe about yourself. And that way it brings you up to the vibrational calibration that the narcissistic people, they can't even see you anymore. You're flying up here in the clouds. And that's the other thing too, is that they say the spiritual path is lonely. It's a vibrational thing, right? Is like this is where you're vibrating, then the masses of humanity and all the chaos and stuff is you're literally going to be swimming on the surface where all of the chaos is happening below. And that's a good thing. That's what you want, is to really get up to that place where your belief systems are carrying you beyond the delusion of chaos, whether that's a person or a city zone, whatever it is. That's what you're being asked to do right now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Okay, my loves, I have got to get going. Yvonne, I would love to take your question, but it's already late. I'm already running late to my meeting. We spent over 2 hours together. I love you so much. Yvonne, if you would please send me an email and let me know what your question is. I'd be happy to answer it there. Let's see. You have my email address again. As I mentioned, the psychic skills class is ready, and I will get that out to all of you dream porters soon. So you will have the discount code. I'll put that in Dreamporting. Natalie will send out an email about it as well coming up soon. And if you'd like any one-on-one support and portal sessions or whatever, you have my email, and please let me know. I love you all so much. I'm so grateful you all showed up today. We had a full house gridding the entire planet. That makes me so happy. And I look forward to hearing from you. Oh, wow, love explosion on the screen. I love it. Okay, my darlings, I love you so much. I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye, loves. Oh, the puppy. Bye, Shannon. Bye, Pascal. Bye, everybody.